Hey, you guys, we are back. We are back with two amazing, crazy people, right? So I'm not for everybody, and neither is he. Hey, you guys, we're back for Story Teaser, the third book of the trilogy, the All Things Wellness Trilogy, Wellness G.P.S. The acronym is Getting Prepared for Success. So we have two more authors on here for us. I look like I have a halo. What? These guys are going to read a little bit of their story to tease you. And then you're going to get the full story in the book when it's launched, probably May-ish, we're looking at. And what is the book? It's a compilation book, multiple stories, up to about 30 authors. We have media partners and all that fun stuff. So stay tuned. All right, you guys, how you doing? How you doing, Marcus?
I'm doing very well, thank you. I
How
made
was
it.
work? How was work today at the endocrinology clinic?
Yeah, well, when you're there, you're there, you just
Long
like
days.
everybody else. If you have fun, then you put everything in it. And
Exactly.
then the time just flies and all of a sudden it's time to go home.
Well, yeah,
Yep.
right. And I've known you for a long time, as we've said, and I've really watched you evolve, not only through your storytelling, but just your going to work in the kind of the corporate setting. Your whole
Oh.
energy, right? Your whole energy is different. Why didn't I work for you today? No,
Hey, we had
no,
a time
no,
back.
no. All right. Hi, Megan. Megan, what do we go by?
Gonna go Megan.
Oh, I love it, Megan.
Yeah.
Okay, let's Ziggy, do you want to start the party so we can
Me?
okay, yeah, me. Ziggy's been a
I'll
part
start the
of
party.
yeah, Ziggy Salvation, everybody. Doesn't that have a vibe? He was in the first book, Fourfold Formula, From Behind the Barber Chair. And in the second book, which was Win the Wellness War, it was From Behind the Gaming Chair.
This
And
Aha, that's where it is. The
I love
this
famous.
it.
is the famous chair. That's it.
I know me,
Yeah.
I'm a gamer now. And then this story, the third one, Ziggy, the title.
From behind my chair.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, my up
Kind of a
in
compilation. Yeah.
yeah. All right, let's hear your teaser there, buddy.
Okay, so I said that my stage was my biggest struggle. Yeah, identifying the content had me second guessing and overthinking more than I will admit. I would get excited about something, overthink it, and then toss the baby out with the bathwater. This part of the process has kept me in so many holding patterns throughout my life. When I stepped back and drilled into why this kept happening, it hit me like a ton of bricks. I get a whim of an idea, but never create the building blocks to plan or launch me to success. Like a humongous pile of Lego bricks won't make a foundation on their own, right? I never gave myself the space or time to dissect how to get there until I learned to use my journal to process the following steps. These decisions would never form physically, and I would continue to walk the path of disappointment. I knew I wanted to share things that bring me joy, so why not use the plethora of games and hobbies throughout my lifetime as my outlet to build my social media following? We all need a bit of joy to help us break away from the monotony of our day to day lives, so why not make it the focal point of my newly identified social media plan? My wife and beautiful kids are the center of my joy. In that same vein, we all love something so immensely that I could talk about it all day. Lego. That's right, I said it, Lego. Our home doesn't have one Lego free wall or brick filled something in every room of this house. So why not bring the family passion to fruition on a digital plane? I basically let it overrun my Instagram already. This was it. I hit a new direction on all fronts and it kind of fell into place. So yeah, that's it.
Very good. Hmm.
Thank you.
Yeah, there's a tease right there. My
Like literally,
takeaway.
That's a
that's
good
my
one.
city right behind me. These lights here, that's the whole city. All of this thing right here, that's just little people. That's just people. That's all that is
Uh-huh.
people. You should
And
see
you
the
don't
mountain I'm
live
literally
far,
sitting on.
and you don't live far from Legoland, and you guys go there pretty frequently. 4 hours
Uh,
ish.
yeah, no, an hour and 40 minutes. I got it clocked. Yeah,
Oh, geez. Okay, there you go.
yeah.
Okay, so I want to just give a takeaway and kind of my takeaway. I don't want to give it away, and then I want to hear what Marcus thinks. But right out of the gate with your T's, I can hear this is my interpretation, but I can hear the perfectionism kind of syndrome, which I can get stuck in too, right? You guys, where you're just like, I don't want to dive into the messy. I want to wait till I figure this all out, and then time just freaking passes. That is, yeah. And you've been blogging for me for a while, so I've watched you kind of evolve with your Marcus. What were your thoughts?
Well, when I read that story, it's a fantastic story for anybody who needs to get that spark to get started and get going. And then you really marvelously outline, and I'm privy to the whole story, how to step by step become successful. But what hit me hardest was the fact that you started doing what you enjoy most. And all of a sudden, stuff falls in place along with your goals of finally being happy. That's what I'm getting out of this. And it's a marvelous story. I really enjoyed it. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
It makes you, are you excited to read it, Megan?
I absolutely am. Well, and it was interesting because your style, Marcus, is that I felt like we were having a conversation in the beginning of the book. Like I thought like it was going to be, I don't know how to say it, but it was definitely a wonderful way to start out, and I can't wait to read the whole thing. So thank you for sharing.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Good. All right, Meg, it's your
And now it's your turn. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Very excited. Very excited. All right.
So the titles, do I tell the title? I guess I should.
Yeah,
love the
please.
title.
I actually have one, which is fantastic. It's called The Scream. And thank you again for this opportunity. I found my voice a little late. Old patterns and internalized belief systems smothered me with questions unasked, knowledge unrealized, and a calling undiscovered. A learned helplessness settled in, feeding off my energy, my vision, my potential, taking up the silence as I struggled to understand my purpose and place within my assumed identity, a mother. Perhaps the singular and constrained identity deserved reflection, and from there, transition to the next phase would be initiated. The logical part of me understood, but the overwhelming feelings of loss and confusion created unsurmountable obstacles. The concept of identity in and of itself came to be my focus. Questions arose around whether adopting an identity had actually hindered my understanding of the world and my place in it. Further, and more crucially, there came to be an acceptance of identity as a construct, one designed to exclude, stagnate, and control based on criteria set by those presumed dominant in social structures. An empowering revelation, which gave long overdue permission for me to begin a journey to explore, question, and ultimately heal. If my journey was to rely on the acceptance of identity as the foundation, it would have been doomed. It would have meant relying on a concept built on generations of intentionally placed limits to the scope of my value and my power.
Ziggy's like, if body language meant everything,
Wow.
we're just like, what is hell's gonna roll out of that story?
I know. I'm legitimately anxious to see the phoenix that rises from the ashes from that.
Mhm.
Thank you, Ziggy.
And you will.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, absolutely.
That's the
what's
beautiful part
interesting.
about it. Yes.
Yeah,
And
that's
go
what's
ahead.
interesting. No, I was just thinking that's what's interesting with, because we have about 2,000 words-ish is kind of the goal for all of these stories. And it is amazing. And we all work together. We make sure that the author and, we dance and Marcus, we all play together with the story, make sure you're proud of it and your message. But it is kind of amazing how you can start off and go deep and learn something so much in 2,000 words, which sounds like a lot, but it's really not. It's really not once you get diving in. So Megan, this is kind of, if I'm not mistaken, is this the first time you're going to be published?
Yes.
How does it feel? What are your thoughts?
I'm really excited because I sort of connected, I think, to Ziggy's story of I wanted to write. I have a great story to tell. And it's been hard because I wanted everything, to use Ziggy's words, I wanted everything perfect. I needed to have it all sorted out. And it's been, so I literally had one chapter written and that's it. I have a basic outline, no chapter. And I was stuck. I was getting myself intimidated. I was intimidated to go forward. And when this opportunity came up, I thought, I can do this, and I will do this. And it was a really good motivator to get me writing, to get me comfortable with my own voice. And I'm really excited.
That was,
Fantastic.
I want to go to Marcus. This was one of the things, if I say a takeaway from yours, is your title, The Scream, you know, the rant in kind of the beginning of like, what to hell? And then to the words that come into my mind is you discovered your voice.
Mhm.
You know, it just like really feels like, and to stand into that and go, screw this imposter syndrome thing. And this is what I believe in and whatever. Marcus, what were your thoughts with Megan's story?
Well, you know, it felt so personal because in a way I've been walking that path.
Mhm.
And you know, the portion, the mindfulness aspect of it all, to start paying attention and realizing, man, and I in my writing call it programs, you know, these are programs that are instilled in us and we're just executing them like a computer. Waking up from that through mindfulness is the ultimate awakening, really. And that's pretty much the same thing that I experienced, you know, frustrated with all of this, recognizing that it's really pulling us down.
Yeah.
And then, like Ziggy, finding the fact that, you know, going after your happiness means that it's not an ego construct, but it is something that makes the whole body feel right.
Yeah.
And once you achieve that, the mind says, wow, this feels great, you know, and then you get that. I had that experience and this woke it up again, and it's fantastic. It's a great story.
And the freedom feel of it, to break away from labels, and just, it reminds me, as Marcus was talking, we had a story in the last book from Mark Reed, who's actually one of our media partners this trip, and he's from Japan. And the title of his story was Bananas to Buddhism.
Mhm.
And really one of his takeaways was, why is a banana a banana? Like, why do we call it that? Like, who
Yeah.
started that? And it, you know, is a nice metaphor to thinking what your story is about, Megan, is where it's going to take us through, like, you know, is this a pen, and how much power are we going to give to the pen?
Mhm.
I love it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh, you guys, what else might you want to add to this experience? We've got several people involved. What else, Ziggy? This is the third trip around. How do you feel? You've given some books away as for gifts, and how's it gone?
The confidence level, I think what it is, and this is gonna sound really bad, but when you come into the point where you're confident in what you're doing and you're happy with what you're doing, you're almost dangerous. Because only
Wow.
you're the only one at that point. Once you hit that mindfulness of freedom, you're the only one that can kind of filter when it stops. You're kind of the only one that can slow down your progress. You're the only one that can kind of pull
Well,
yourself back. Because once you're
Mhm.
in it, I mean, it's full steam ahead. Everyone that falls at your wayside, they're either with you or they're not. Period.
that's right.
Yes.
So
Yes.
it's a crazy feeling to know at any moment, if you know where your path is headed and you find it, and the ones that you surround yourself with are your ultimate fuel, point blank, period. And
Mhm.
it's really it's empowering, but you know, right then and there, you start to recognize how malleable the people that aren't with you really have become by the social world. And the biggest contributor to it is this thing right here.
Yeah.
Honest to God.
Yeah.
Like, if that's why my 13-year-old doesn't have a phone, he doesn't have a tablet. You know what he does that other 13-year-olds do? He creates, he writes, he builds worlds from his imagination. He's not sitting there like a zombie worrying about what other people are thinking about his interests. That's it for me. That's the
That
power
is
is in finding yourself. It's
the
Yeah.
next story is from
Yes.
behind the chair to life coach.
Yes.
That's so motivating.
Yes.
But that was motivating.
It's
Yeah,
true
and the
though.
take-home
It's-
message is that the earlier you start, the less they have to be burdened with undoing those programs. What
yes,
we're doing
absolutely.
here is a lot of destruction and then rebuilding.
Rebuilding.
The destruction part is not fun. If you
The
Right.
don't
best part is,
have that,
though, we're
there's
the ones
just
doing it
building
for
stuff to build.
people.
What's that,
You
Ziggy?
know,
Yeah.
we're I said my favorite part about it is, by sharing our stories, we're the ones sacrificing our destruction to help people have less of their own. You know what I mean? Like I'm so excited to see readers come out of the woodwork and reach out and say, hey, I got something to say. I caught it way earlier because of Megan, because of Peggy, because of Marcus. And it saved you so much. Like you think about your teenage years, your parents could tell you one thing. It makes 0 sense. You revolt against it to the drop of everything. Your father's best friend that you look up to says the same thing verbatim, and it's momentous. You're just like, oh my God, it makes so much sense. We could be that.
I think so too. I mean, one of my motivators.
That's a very good point.
It is, and one of my motivators. I have 3 daughters. I don't want to have to keep repeating patterns. I want us all to find our voices much earlier than I did, and I don't want you to Marcus's point. I don't want us and Ziggy's too, like worrying about what other people think. Find your voice, believe in it, and have those strong people around you to support you, lift you, and obviously hold you accountable. But to worry about so much noise, it's the part of the destructive patterns too, I think, of ours.
This is always timely, right? There's no coincidences. And so without saying names and getting in more trouble, I have a point. Social media is mad at me again. What?
What?
Oh, yeah, oh God. Anyway, so I've been doing a lot of appeals the last 3 days, and I'm going to come back to you guys to what you just said. Many things I've done in the past that somebody might appeal things I'm doing, I might take really personal, like, oh my gosh, did I say something wrong? Oh, they hate me. I mean, I know the keyboard kind of, trolls and stuff. I've been doing this a hot minute. But when 2 days ago, all of the homeless project that I have worked on for 9 months with even the public affairs deputy assistant secretary in DC who's writing the foreword. This is a mission of stories from people under the streets, and social media decided to pull it off, blaming me for unorthodoxly seeking followers and likes, of which I thought that's what social media was. Anywho, all of them were pulled off.
No.
And anyone I shared anything with was pulled off their site. And now they're doing it to Marcus's and my books. So they're pulling off images. They're saying it's duplicative. It looks like I'm a scam. I'm a robot. And that's why, Marcus, you're getting those signs now. And here's my point. So for those of you who are writing your story and you are now beacons and you are the vessel to share this shit with everybody else and change and save lives, don't let this platform, don't let it stop you. We do what? We lean on each other, like you said, Ziggy, pull in those people, push away and block past those other ones. And I'm fired up.
Yes, 100%.
Can I say one thing about you getting stuff removed?
Yes.
In my world, in my realm of whether it's streaming or whatever, that's because you're onto something. Someone's threatened somewhere to the point they're going out of the way to target it to take the success away from you. So you're on the right track.
Look,
You're pissing somebody off.
Flowers. Oh.
That's what I'm saying. You're making somebody mad enough to tell you the truth that they don't want out, that they're going the extra mile to take it away.
And since we're on the social media, guess what else happened? This is about storytelling. So my radio show, swear to God, today's Thursday, yesterday aired with a 21-year-old out of college who did her senior program, her senior project on foster care. And that was the first half hour of my show. The second half hour was one of the writers who's also going to be in G.P.S. was talking about her homelessness. And she's, guess what happened to that on YouTube?
Yoink.
No.
There are hundreds of comments on my network's YouTube that are all cookie cutter and avatars. Oh my gosh, thank you for talking about homeless. Thank you for talking about homeless. Thank you for talking about homeless. All of this stuff. And it's like, I can't wait till Lauren sees. It hadn't even aired yet. It was on premiere. It was 10 minutes before it aired.
Wow.
About a subject, you guys, listen, if you have had trauma, if you have had addictions, if you have had a divorce, if you have had a bankruptcy, that's what this book is about. Real people, real problems, real stories. If this doesn't work, pivot over here and talk to that person. Oh, 4 of us. Marcus, what are your thoughts?
It is very sad. It is a development that I wasn't ready for, to be honest with you. But hey, Like everything else, it's a roadblock. That's all. You know, either you step over it or you walk around it. That's all.
Oh my God, that's the GPS of, that's the title of our book, right? When you get into
Mhm.
your car and you dial in the GPS, it's going to tell you if you're planning ahead where the roadblocks and the detours. Oh, Marcus, that's so good. Look at you using the title of our book.
Not bad, right?
Redirect. Well, thank you, you
That's it.
guys, for being a part of this because, you
Yeah.
know, this is an addiction for us too. And this is an addiction because we feel good. And that's what addictions are if you can keep them healthy, right? We are addicted to helping others share their stories and empower them. We're just here to vessel this stuff, man. That's all we're doing.
I love it.
Mhm.
Final words, Megan. What are your thoughts, honey?
I'm excited to read the final product. I'm excited to hear the rest of the story teasers and get to know Ziggy and Marcus and Peggy all a little bit more because I have really enjoyed, and not to sound corny, but really enjoyed talking to you. And I can't believe how quickly we all just started talking as if we'd known each other for a while, and
That's
that's
right.
really
Oh, yeah.
special to me. So thank you.
That energy is
Thank you.
palpable. Yeah, it's
Mm.
Yep.
Ziggy, final words. Motivational speaker.
Megan, you're in the circle now, girl. You ain't ever getting rid of us. I hope you know that.
Good. I love it.
That's it. You're one of us. We're all gonna hold up a sign and say, "One of us." It's happening.
We
No,
have
I'm.
to have a wellness retreat with all the authors down here. That would be like,
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean,
Look at
we're
that.
already in paradise. You know what I mean? No, my final thoughts. I'm really curious. I'm really curious to see how this inspires, because this is the end of the series. You know what I mean? Like, this is the trifecta. This is to make a really bad Star Wars reference. This is the original saga. It's here. So we're building all these pieces to see people pull everything to see how they
Mhm.
help themselves project forward. I'm pumped to see it.
Mhm. And I do believe, Peggy, you need to mention that you just brought out the workbook for the wellness wheel, which is basically the whole idea of us doing this, giving
yes.
people the tool
Yeah.
to self-assess and work. So if you want to pick this up and get started, you will have that motivation coming in that we were talking about, feeling good about yourself and so on, because you have done an assessment that really points to
Oh,
where
that's
you
nice
have
of
to
you.
work on yourself,
That's nice.
right?
Yeah, because we do. That's another little thing that's different, you guys, with what we've done. There's a lot of compilation books, a lot of anthologies out there. Absolutely. Chicken Soup of the Soul started it 23 years ago. Love it, right? And it's so cool because you could be at a doctor's office, I always say in the bathtub, wherever, and one story might resonate and it might not for another year. But you've got all these different views in there. The cool thing about what Marcus and I decided to do is not to just put out a book of just a bunch of stories. Not that that's bad, but we wanted to add our content of many, many years of the work I've done on my trademark wellness wheel and the work he and I have done together. So we built that content. Thank you, Marcus, of book 1, 2, and 3, literally built right into this workbook, journal pages, wellness logs. And you have a little bit longer. Get it on a discount, $10 on Amazon, let's just say. All right, I'm going to let you guys go. And as I've said a million times to those of you that are listening, this was Story Teasers. You can catch all of them for all of the books out on my YouTube channel. Follow us on social media, and we will be coming out in May. And you will find us somewhere if it's on a street corner, if that's the only place we have left to sell them.
I'll be there.
Ziggy will be there with his
Thank
I'll be
you.
there.
Ziggy.
Kilted, ready to go.
Oh, I love you guys. All right, I'll talk to you real soon.
Bye, thank you.
All right, thank you.